The Third Testament, chapter 17, part 3. The new way of worshipping God. Ask, and it shall be given. All of you bear a wound in your hearts. Who better than I to penetrate to your interior? I know your bitterness, your sadness and discouragement before such injustice and ingratitude as exists in your world. I know the fatigue of those who have lived and struggled on the earth, and whose existence is for them a heavy burden. I know the emptiness of those who remain alone in this life. I say to you all, ask and it shall be given. For this have I come, to give you what you need of me. Whether that be company, tranquility, balm, missions, or light. Do not be afraid of misery. Misery is temporary, and in it you should pray. Imitating the patience of Job, abundance will return, and you will not find the words with which to thank me. When sickness overwhelms you, O blessed sick people, do not despair. Your spirit is not ailing. Elevate yourselves to me in prayer, and your faith and spirituality will return the health of your body. Pray in the manner that I have taught you. Spiritually, during your moments of an ordeal, pray with a brief but pure and sincere prayer. Then you will feel comforted. And when you succeed in being in harmony with your Lord Christ, I will be able to tell you that my will is yours, and your will is mine. Pray, but let your prayer be formed by your intentions and actions of the day. That will be your best prayer. But if you wish to direct a thought to me, containing a petition, say then to me, Father Shiloh, your will shall be done in me. You will be asking even more thereby than you could hope or understand. And in that simple phrase, that thought, you simplify the Lord's Prayer that you asked me for in another time. There you have the prayer that asks all and that speaks best for you. But do not say it with your lips, but rather feel it with your heart, for saying is not feeling, and if you feel it, you do not need to say it. I know how to hear the voice of the Spirit and understand its language. What greater joy can there be for you than to know that? Did you think that I needed you to tell me what to do? I have taught you to pray and to ask things for others. However, I also listen to you when you ask things for yourself. I do receive that prayer. Yet I tell you that the time when I gave to you according to your petition, because you were small, has passed. Now, I wish you to act like disciples, presenting to me your spirit and your heart when you pray, but leaving it to me to read them and do my will. When you question or ask something of me, do exert yourselves to try to explain your problem clearly, nor bother to polish carefully constructed phrases. It is sufficient to me that your spirit frees himself from the world for an instant and leaves your heart and understanding cleansed, so that they may receive my inspiration. What will it serve you to offer me lovely words if you are incapable of feeling my presence within you? I know all, and it is not necessary for you to explain anything to me for me to understand it. If you know how to understand my doctrine, it offers you many satisfactions, many opportunities to ascend. Learn to pray before making any decision, for prayer is the perfect form for asking your Father Shiloh, since in it you will be demanding light and strength to continue forward in the struggle. Upon praying, soon an illumination will come to your understanding that will permit you to clearly distinguish good from evil, the correct from what you should not do, and that shall be a concrete proof that you knew to prepare yourselves to hear the voice of your conscience. Suffer hardships with patience, and if you do not manage to understand the significance of your trials, pray, and I shall reveal their meaning, so that you may accept them. Every time that your lips or thoughts say to me, Lord, do not deny me your forgiveness, you are demonstrating your ignorance and confusion, as well as how little you know me. Do you tell me to have pity for your pain? Do you ask me to have mercy on my children? Do you beg me to forgive your sins? I, the Christ, who am love, clemency, charity, forgiveness, and pity. It is fine that you try to move those who on the earth have hardened hearts, and that you try to move to pity with tears and please those who have not an atom of charity toward their fellows. But do not use these forms or thoughts with he and she. who created you from love in order to love you eternally. Be content with the great charity that the Father Shiloh has entrusted to you for all things related to human life on the face of the earth. And do not ask for that which might cause the ruin of your spirit or substance. I have more to give you than you do to ask of me, but it is I, Christ, who know what you really need on the road. I said to you that if you know how to follow my law, you shall behold me in all my splendor. The blessing of intercession. Do not become accustomed to praying only with words. Pray with the Spirit. I also say to you, bless with the prayer, convey thoughts of light to your brethren. Do not ask anything for yourselves. Remember that he who serves me will always have me watching over him. The seed that you sow with love, you will receive multiplied. Do not pray only when you find yourselves going through some painful ordeal. Also pray when you are at peace, for it will be then that your hearts and thoughts can become occupied with others. Do not pray only for those who have helped you, or those who have not caused you any harm, for even though that is virtuous, it is not as worthy as assisting those who have previously harmed you. What is it that I teach you now? To bless everyone and everything with your entire heart and spirit, because who blesses in this way is similar to the Father Shiloh, in making their warmth come to all. Therefore I say to you, learn to bless with your spirit, with your thoughts and your heart, and your peace, strength and warmth will reach whomever you send it to, no matter how far away they are. What would happen if all men blessed one another, even without having met? Perfect peace would reign on earth. War would be inconceivable. For that miracle to occur, it is necessary that you elevate your spirit by means of perseverance in virtue. Do you judge this to be impossible? Ask, and it shall be given. All that you wish in charity for your brothers, ask me for it. Pray, unite your plea to that of the needy, and I shall concede what you ask. The necessity of prayer. Be watchful and pray, I repeat frequently, but I do not want you to familiarize yourself with this pleasant advice, but study it and put it into practice. I tell you to pray, for he who does not pray will surrender to thoughts which are superfluous, material, and sometimes unsound, with which, unknowingly, he encourages and fosters destructive wars. But when you pray, your thought, like a radiant sword, destroys the veils of darkness and the bonds of temptation which today are imprisoning many beings, saturating the environment with spirituality and counteracting the forces of evil. Humanity has always been too busy with the great things of the earth to consider the importance that prayer and meditation have for that which is beyond this life, in order to discover its own essence. He who prays converses with the Father Shiloh, and if he asks questions, receives instant replies. The ignorance of men about spirituality proceeds from their lack of prayer. You are approaching a time of true prayer, of worship without fanaticism, in which you will know how to pray before each undertaking, in which you will know how to watch over what has been entrusted to you, when you will know how to give fairly to your spirit that which pertains to him, and to the world that which corresponds to it. How can men go wrong if instead of doing his own will, he first asks the Father through prayer? Who knows how to pray lives in contact with God, knows the value of the benefits that he receives from the Father, and also understands the meaning and purpose of the trials that he passes through. The beneficial effects of practicing prayer. Throughout the eras I have said to you, pray. Today I say that by means of the prayer you can obtain knowledge. If all men prayed, they would never deviate from the path of light outlined by me through the prayer. They would heal the sick. There would not be any more non-believers, and peace would again return to the spirits. How can man be happy when he has rejected my grace? By chance, does he think that love, charity, and meekness are not attributes of the human heart? Know that the word that bears no love has neither life nor power. You ask me how you can begin to love, and what you must do so that this sentiment awakens in your heart, and I tell you, to start, know how to pray. Prayer will bring you to the Master, and I am that master. In prayer, you will find consolation, inspiration, and strength. It will give you the sweet satisfaction of being able to speak intimately with God without witnesses or mediators. God and your spirit meeting in that sweet moment of confidences, spiritual communication, and blessings. Whenever you need a confidant and a good friend, seek me out and deposit in me the sorrows of your heart. And I will show you the best pathway, the solution you seek. If your spirit is oppressed by sorrows, it is because you have sinned. I will receive you and will be benevolent in my judgment. I will strengthen your intention to reform and return to you your lost strength. Only the practicing of my teachings can keep you in grace and spiritual and physical health. The experience you gather will be light that you accumulate in your spirit. The spirit which knows how to be watchful will never depart from the route traced for him by his Lord Christ, and he is able to employ his heritage and his gifts until he achieves his elevation. That being shall progress in his trials, for he lives alert and never allows himself to be dominated by the material. He who prays and keeps vigil shall always emerge, triumphant from the difficult times, and will know how to walk with firm steps on the path of life. Oh, how different is the conduct of he who forgets to pray and keep watch. Voluntarily he renounces defending himself with the best arms I have placed in man, which are faith, love, and the light of wisdom. It is he who does not hear the inner voice that speaks to him through his intuition, his conscience, and his dreams. But the heart and mind do not understand that language, and do not give credence to the message that comes from his own spirit. Prayer is the means revealed to your spirit to come to me with your questions, your uncertainties, and your yearning for light. Through that communication, you can dissipate your doubts or tear away the veil hiding some mystery. Prayer is the beginning of the spirit-to-spirit communication that in times to come will flourish and give its fruits to all humanity. Today I have revealed all this to the people who hear me, so that they may be the forerunners of the era of spirituality.